Good morning, Carolyn. Okay, I am ready to get started. So I don't know if you're ready yet or if you're just hiding from me today. um, anyway, okay, so today we're going to create a post that attracts leads to you. Okay, so now that you know the problem that you're solving, you have an idea how you're going to help your clients solve it. How do you put it out into the world and attract those leads to you? As we talked about yesterday, I use reverse prospecting, not the MLS search. For me, reverse prospecting is a technique in which you offer something of value and your ideal clients raise their hand to say, I want what you're offering. It's important to have a strong marketing message for any offer you're creating. And I believe that a marketing message needs to have a few items to be effective. First, you need to have a headline or attention grabber, something that, if there's any question, like the people know from reading this, you're talking to them. Sometimes that might be, saying, sorry about the dings. Sometimes it might be something like, attention renters, or, you know, did you know, or, something that is just like oh, okay, I gotta look and see about this. The next thing is you need to have your solution or your offer. And then the final thing is you need to have a call to action, something that makes them understand what it is they're supposed to do. Okay, so like we talked about a little bit yesterday, you want to make it easy to act or respond. You want to give something away, but that is information a lot of times. It could be, like we've talked about, a PDF or, something else, but really the main goal is to give them information, to give them knowledge that will help them move forward. Okay. Putting a time limit on your offer makes it more urgent. Not, I don't always put a time limit on things, but, sometimes, like as an example, normally when I'm running this challenge, I will say, everyone who does every day's homework, will get something at the end or something like that. But I make it so that everyone knows, like, okay, you have to do your thing, in order to get whatever. Okay, next is make the directions clear. Comment for more information, DM for more information, call me or text me. I've done ads or posts where I'll say, get like a free CMA, text the word home to, and then my number, and it's just like, okay, just giving them a direction, something that they can follow and do. And then you want to make it measurable. You want to know your numbers. So you want to be able to keep track of how well your post or your ad or whatever it is you're doing is performing. All right. So our goal is to get across an idea or convey a feeling that the lead, want to have or get the lead to act. And basically, by giving them, as we kind of talked about yesterday, by giving them small steps, like little things to do, even if you create like a seller poll, and you put in a group, you put out a poll, and it's like, one of my favorite ones that I've done is like, have you thought about selling? Like, what's holding you back? And then I'll put things like the not having anywhere to go, or not the house isn't ready yet, or oh gosh, my credit's not, up to par, or things like that. And people will check the box, and you can start to have a conversation with them from there, as to what you can do to help them move forward. Okay. So as an example, um, basically, and if you can always screenshot this too, but um, one post that I've done is this one. Homeowners considering selling. Homes have been selling for 25,000 over list price. Don't trust a website to determine what your home is worth. DM me today for a free competitive market analysis of your home's value in today's market. Don't leave money on the table. So, you know, I've kind of put out there that I'm talking to homeowners. I've given them something to kind of go, oh, homes are selling for 25 over list price. I mean, this may not be, news right now. It could be that, hey, home values are like maybe just starting to come down. Maybe you want to reach them and tell them that don't miss out on the high prices. Prices are starting to go down or something like that. But basically, I like this one because it gives them something. It kind of, I don't want to say anything, but don't trust a website to determine what your home is worth. I think we all know what we're saying there, right? But we want them to know that we're going to give them a correct value. Okay, so another one that I love is this one. Attention renters. Did you know that you can buy a home with a credit score of 580 and a 2-year employment, that should say history, in 2 years of employment? Doesn't have to be the same job. Go from being a renter to a homeowner this year. Comment below if you would like more information. Stop paying your landlord's mortgage and invest in your future. This one, I sometimes will tweak this and say, something different, but this one is definitely one of my favorites. It is something that gets people's attention. It brings them in and makes them go, oh, like, okay, my credit score is really close to this, or my credit score is right there. Like, let's talk. Let's see what I can do. Or, I mean, I'm not going to say that when you start talking about the lowest credit scores, you don't get the people who have, problems. I mean, you'll get those ones too, who are like, okay, I have X, Y, and Z, but as we've discussed, you can put them in your Facebook group, you can put them somewhere and you can work with them and keep guiding them. Okay. So as far as homework, basically, I want you to start creating a message, a post that you can use based on the things that we've kind of talked about, and so that you have something that you can put out to the world and start getting communication, start talking to people. It honestly, it does not have to be super flashy, you know what I mean? It can be simple and easy, and just telling someone, like sharing a message, as we've talked about, is powerful. So just kind of start talking to them and show them what it is they need to know. Okay, so do you have any questions for me this morning?
Actually, I was talking to a lender just before this because I thought, all right, let me just start to see what else is out there. So I've been sending messages to lenders just to see what other programs they might have. So
I love that.
yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah.
That's very exciting because it kind of puts you like it puts you in the driver's seat, right? Like then and you're not counting on a lender. Like, I mean, yes, we still have to work with them. Yes, we still have to like let them be the knowledge source. But when we have some of that knowledge and we can kind of give people the information and show them that, there are options out there for you, instead of just fill out an application and we'll tell you what you qualify for, but giving them the hope that there are things out there that could work for them. I mean, it changes people's perception of what they can do. And that's what we want to do, because a lot of times people really think that they're stuck in their situation. They can't see a way out. Like if it's a renter or something, or I'm sure even in estates, people are sitting there kind of, I can only imagine what I would be doing, I guess. And that's what I'm sitting here working with, is like, if it was me and I was dealing with like my mom's property, trying to figure out what to do with it, I would probably be sitting there so overwhelmed, not knowing just where to start. And so just having someone there to like grab my hand and say, okay, you've
Yeah.
got this, is powerful.
Yep, it's been a busy morning, so I've spent some time rattling some chains on the one that's stuck in two probates. So hopefully, although one of the attorneys, I sent a message last night to one side and the other side this morning. So who knows? Maybe that'll start to shake something
That
loose.
would be
I
good.
hope. But yeah, I think you're right. I think for people on the estates, it's a lot of emotional stuff depending upon where they are in the process.
I think so too. That's the thing that I see, that's the thing that I'm like, gosh, that has to be the hardest part. I mean, like, to deal with, to kind of get through that. Because no matter what you do, there's going to be emotions. I mean, even if you hadn't talked to your parents in years and you're left with a mess, like there's still going to be emotions, like I
Oh
don't see
yeah.
any way around that in this situation.
Even you find it with aunts and stuff like that too. I mean, even if you think that they wouldn't necessarily be like that close of there's definitely, I mean, I had somebody, I'd sent a postcard to her because, I saw that it was, gonna have to, came up in the newspaper as like, and, she was a person and she sent me an email and called and said, I really wanted a CMA, but there's somebody who's living in the house and I couldn't even get into that. They wouldn't even let me in the house to see what it's
Oh wow.
like.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, well, this is, you want help, but you're not ready for it yet.
Right.
So
And possibly even having some solutions for that, like give them an attorney's number or something who, maybe could help them gain access, or something like that.
I think I think that's going to be, I think part of it too is I haven't done a really good job of like getting, um, I need to come up with like a vendors list, maybe, these are like some of the people. I guess part of the reason I haven't necessarily done that is because they're always like tell you to be very hesitant about recommending people.
Mhm.
Um, but maybe it's and then even it's interesting because if you go to a local hardware store, they'll give you names, but they generally give you three.
Right.
Another place that I found is good for recommendations is like the building department in town.
Okay.
They do the same thing. They give you three. So maybe I'm thinking to myself, maybe that's the answer, is just maybe give like, here are some choices.
I think that that's a good idea. In our state, like for referrals, we have a form for inspector referrals because, we work with the inspectors so much and everything. And so it's kind of a disclosure from us, the agents, to our buyers. And we have to say, if we've had, like, what our relationship is with each of these people that we're referring. And at first I thought, well, this is kind of silly, like, you know what I mean? But at the same time, like if you're referring always to the same person, I mean, who knows what people could say, So probably having a list of 3 different options is not a bad idea.
That's actually what I usually have done with inspections. I usually give 3, although I just found out one of the ones that I had on there was a smaller one.
Okay.
And I just found out they're not doing business in Connecticut anymore. So I'm like, okay, I've got to replace my
Right.
go-to list with this. But I'm just wondering if maybe I should make something. When you're giving it to them, do you have like a pretty PDF or do you just email them or?
You know, you I mean, okay, so it kind of depends like how you're doing this. If it's like just someone who's reached out to you, like this lady, and she's like, okay, I need some attorneys or something like that, then I mean, in that case, like for me, I would probably send her like one attorney, like whoever my favorite, like my go-to person is. Um, but at the same time, like if it was someone responding to something I had done on Facebook, I would probably want it to be, in like a pretty PDF, like, just like, and not always. I mean, I'm making it more complicated. Honestly, no, not always. Like sometimes just sending them the information is good, but having it already ready is going to make your life easier because if you have, I mean, let's just pretend 20 people reach out to you and you're like going, okay, I can handle this. I've got it,
Right,
you can keep track of it. But if you get a post that blows up and you have 100 people there, that is going to make you freaking nuts. So
yeah,
so having it prepared would be a good idea, just so that it's kind of like a peace of mind thing. It's there, it's easy to access, whether that be a whole list of people, like on one PDF, or if you have a couple, maybe like one is attorneys, one is accountants, or like a cluster
right.
of like services that they may need.
Also thinking, you know what I was thinking with the whole estate and, because I think one of the things, the common theme that people have is like, how do you get rid of everything? So I was
Right.
thinking maybe even like event, maybe that would be a good giveaway. Like, are you trying to downsize? Here's a list of places you can go or things you can consider, Facebook Marketplace, there's like Freedom Finds and Simsbury who, they pay you, it's a fee, but they give a percentage back to um, to veteran organizations and they donate to the homeless. So if you have somebody who wants to feel good and maybe like, the restore and then maybe their phone numbers and contacts so that if you need somebody to come and pick stuff up.
Exactly. I think that that would be wonderful because from what I saw on the posts that you did, the people were saying like it, and I didn't follow it. I saw it once because it came up
Yeah,
across my screen, and but it seemed to me that people were kind of saying that the stuff, like going through the stuff was kind of the hardest part of it. And so having some options there for them, for those things, I think would be really powerful. Just like, okay, you don't have to stress about this. Like there's people who will help you, there's places that you can donate to who will help other people, as well. Like it's going to take a load off of them and show them that there are options. They don't have to do it all themselves.
yeah. I mean, like I said, even like some of this, even the simple ones, because sometimes people just don't want to, aren't that tech savvy. I think especially if I ended up with, I don't know, maybe to, because I've done postcards and things, and I'm wondering maybe that would be something to put on there as like an attention grabber too, like contact me for help with a downsizing guide or something, especially if you're dealing with people who are in their 70s or something. They're, well, some of them are very tech savvy, but I'm just thinking,
That's exactly what you should be doing. You want to get in front of these people, and we don't know when we're talking in that age range if they are tech savvy, if they're like the type who are like, nope, my flip phone is fine, and like that's you
Yeah.
know like that's all I've got. You never know what you're dealing with. And so getting out there in as many ways as possible is the best option. But I think that definitely having something that you can tell them, reach out to me for this, or that sort of thing, it's going to get them to reach out to you. It's going to get people talking to you and coming to you, and that's the goal.
Yeah. No, that sounds good. I think that's part of it, is I think it's going to be just doing a lot of like gathering a lot of this information and stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think though, kind of going through this week, it kind of gives you an idea though, right? Like you
Yeah.
kind of have a list of things like, okay, these are the things that they need to know about, or these are the things that they're struggling with, or they're telling me. So these are the things that we need to find a solution to, and that's um it's going to change things for you, as you start offering these solutions, and as you start talking about it to people, they're going to be like, oh, okay, she's a resource for what I'm going through. And that's, like I said, my word of the week, powerful.
Yes. Yes. Very much so. No, I really appreciate all your time this week. It's been very helpful.
Yes, of course. I'm very happy that you were able to stick with me for the whole week, because
Yes.
I think that honestly, it, okay, I had one gal tell me one time, she's like, Corey, this is like very like it, I felt insulted. This is very basic information. And I was like, okay, but are you doing it? Like,
I think that's probably part of the challenge, is actually sitting down and doing it, because knowing and doing are two different things.
exactly. And that's
So
and that's the thing, if you're sitting there and you're like, okay, I should be doing this, or I need to do this, and you're not doing it, what's happening? Like nothing. So you got to take some action.
well, I think part of it too is I mean, I think by doing this, it caused me to do some of the things that have been kind of on my to-do list to begin with.
Right.
Like spend an hour on the phone with one lender, just, because I need a new lender, probably more than one lender, but I spent a lot of time with him just to say, okay, what about this? And then I'm like, all right, if I get people on Facebook, would you be willing to talk to them as a DM? And, because not everybody's willing to do that. So I'm like, okay, let me just,
Exactly. Get them on board with the way you want to do business, or the way that's going to make it easiest for you. And if you can have them working with you as a team member, that just changes your business, when like, okay, look, I've had lenders who are not responding, who are not following up. I just need to know someone's going to work with me the way I need you to work with me. and
yeah.
and there's nothing wrong with that, like that's, maybe I'm a customer service snob. I just feel
Yeah,
I
no,
just
it's,
feel like this is the business we're in.
and to be honest with you, I mean, this one, he's there like, well, I'd rather you tell me. He goes, because a lot of times people will just walk away. And I'm thinking to myself, yep, that's what happens. I go, you know what? You burn me on it, and you're done.
Right.
The end. I move on to the next person, because I go, this is not worth it.
Right. Yep. These people, each of these people who we take to a lender, I mean, they're a person. They're not just an application. They're not just a number, and that's the way I look at it when I put them into my Facebook group. Like, this is where they're growing, and, I mean, I'm not in there as much as I should be. So, they're probably not picking up as much as I should be giving them. But it's a place for them to sit while they're working on their credit and continue to learn, or it's a place where they can start saving their money, but they're in a place where I can still reach them and talk to them and be in front of them and, keep touching them. And that sounded inappropriate. I don't know. But, I can basically have them there when I'm ready to talk to them and help them. They're growing, they're doing their thing. They can reach out to me when they're ready, and I'm not pressuring them, but they can still see me and see, that I'm there and I'm helping and those things. And so I don't know, I guess I feel like some lenders, it's, and a lot of realtors too, like, if someone isn't ready right now, we kind of have like, will dismiss them, like, oh, okay,
True.
sorry, you're not, it's not going to work. So come back to me when you're ready, sort of thing. But they need more than that from us. You know what I mean? But they don't need us pressuring them. Like if someone's needing to save up their down payment, like they don't really need us hassling them once a month. So how's it going?
Right.
Like that would be a turn off to me. So I know that that has to be a turn off to other people. You know what I mean? And so putting them in a Facebook group and kind of letting them do their thing, but still teaching them and keeping them, engaged, that sort of thing, showing them other options. Or, I put a couple of my people onto Self Lender, who like, you basically, you, it's like you put money into savings every month, and at the end you can like borrow them, not borrow it, but like
Oh,
it builds your credit every month basically. um but you're just paying into a savings account pretty much.
okay.
And so I think you can do it for like 6 months or 12 months. And basically, like, so let's say you choose 6 months, and then, basically you make those payments for 6 months. At the end of the 6 months, you have whatever it is, $100, $300, whatever. And then you can just take that and spend it basically. But
Okay.
it builds your credit because you're making payments. And so there's different things that I've done like that, where people are like, oh, okay, this is something simple that I can do. It's helping me, but like it's not something that they just found on their own. You know what I mean? It's another
Right.
tool that you can give them.
I think part of what I think, and I'm probably not alone in this, I think one of the things I struggle with is how often to reach out and be in touch with people and how much to press them. So, um I lost a listing, I he kept saying, I'm not ready, I'm not ready, I'm not ready. And, I'm working on it, working on it, working on it. And then all of a sudden I see it listed with somebody else. And I'm like, okay.
Right.
And then come to find out, like this person just kept calling and pestering and pestering and pestering. So I have this hard time of like, okay, you do need to do so much, but how much is like too much is kind of $1 million question for me.
Right. For me, okay, I'm not going to say that I haven't like lost listings or, that sort of thing. But I am not, like, for me personally, I'm not the type to like, I can't be pushy. Like, I mean, I can
Yeah.
ask my kids, but like in business, it's kind of like, for me, if you okay, let me back up. When it comes to sellers, like I will reach out, I will talk to them, that sort of thing. But I don't, like, I know that you want to sell your house, so I'm not going to be on your phone every week like, are you ready yet? Are you ready yet? Like,
Yeah.
that would be annoying. And if it was me, I would be very frustrated and just like, I'm not going to talk to
Exactly.
you. Like, and I would probably stop answering calls. So for me, I guess I kind of feel like being in front of them, like in a Facebook group, that sort of thing, and giving them that option. They have the option if they want to reach out. You know what I mean? Like, I'm still there giving value. I'm still there like helping. I'm still there providing stuff. They still see me, but I'm not pestering them and like, okay, are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? And yes, I know that I've lost some people like by not pestering, but at the same time, I'm like, you know what though? That's just not me. And if it doesn't feel good to me, it's really hard for me to do it. If it doesn't feel like genuine,
Right.
like I guess over the years, like I'm trying to think who it was who told me this, but it was like, oh crap. I think I might have forgot what I was gonna say. The oh man, no, it's gone. Shoot. I don't remember what I was gonna say. Sorry.
Okay.
but but basically over time, I mean, okay, I've been selling for almost 20 years. So of course, I've lost listings. Of course, I've lost buyers. It happens. But for me, I feel like giving them what I have, whether that's a buyer and I'm, just helping build them up, or whatever, or if it's a seller and it's like, I've given them every tool that they could use, to prepare themselves to sell their house. And if they go with someone else, like I kind of just, you know, I don't know. I just accept it, I guess. And I
Yeah.
just move on. But I don't feel I just don't feel compelled to be a pushy salesperson. Like I'm trying to think it was furniture. We went there was a furniture store that's been in business for, years and years and years, and they were closing down. And we went in there and we've always had like, they'll come up to you and say something, when you first
Yes.
walk in, but then they kind of let you be. Well, I was definitely going to buy a couch. Like it was in my head. I had the money, like I was ready to just pay cash. And this lady, like, I would ask my husband, well, do you like this one or do you like this color? And like every time she would pop back in, oh, we have this other color here. And I'm like, dude, like, let me be. Like, I ended up not buying anything because I could not handle her just being all over me. And I know that not everyone is like, the way I am, but I know a lot of people are like, just let me be, let me breathe, let me, kind
Yeah.
of figure this out. And I, I guess growing up with that whole treat others the way you want to be treated
Yes.
thing, right? It kind of, yes, you can probably get business by being pushy, but that's just not how I choose to do it.
No, I understand. It's like I said, it's this awful fine balance. Like you want to give them what they need, but not. It's
Not
like the
drive them
solar people
away.
he wouldn't stop yesterday. I'm like, really? I've already told you no. He goes, well, I'm just scouting. I don't really know what I don't know. I'm like, oh, you're doing a PPA, and he's like, I don't really know, and I'm like, well, no, I'm really not that interested. Thank you very much.
Right, right.
And then he's still going, well, what is your credit? And I'm thinking to myself, well, that's none of your damn business. I didn't
Exactly.
say I want to
Just
buy anything.
exactly. Exactly. Just let me be. Like, let me choose. If I want to do something, I'm going to choose to do it. That's the way I look at it, And so I think I assume that's how other people look at it too, And so, just I'm going to say trust your gut. Listen to your instincts. If you feel like you should be reaching out to someone more, then it probably isn't a bad idea. But always always come at it from a place of service as opposed to I'm just calling you to see if you're closer to selling your house. You know what I mean? Is
Yeah.
there anything else I can do to help you? Or, is there anything you need? Those kinds of things is like, I don't know, as opposed to like, so how's it coming along? Like, I mean, that is the question we want to know, right? Like, how close are you? Is it time yet? Like, what's happening? But we want to come at it from a place of service as opposed to, the pushy person.
Right. I think that's probably how I lost it, because I just wasn't that person, I just
I
didn't feel like if I constantly call you and say, are you done? Are you done?
Exactly. But I don't know. Like, I respect that more than the pushy
Yeah.
salesperson, and so, but some people, I guess at the same time, some people may feel bullied into it. You know what I mean? And that's not the way you would want your relationship to be with them anyway, like
No.
feeling like I just bullied them into this and now they're listing with me because I like wouldn't give them another option.
Right.
So I think I believe that you're doing things the right way. I believe that you're doing them the right way for you. So
Yeah.
just feel comfortable with that, and know that if you feel as though you're being respectful, the other people probably feel that as well. It's not like if you feel like you're being pushy, they may be feeling that way too, and if you're like, oh man, that one, I just tanked that, I mean, probably you're being too hard on yourself,
Yeah.
you know, but,
True.
it's just, you have to do what feels good to you and don't like value yourself enough to feel comfortable with that.
Okay. Sounds good. I may go
All
back to some
right.
sticky notes again. They actually, sometimes I used to have sticky notes when I was in a different business with like little notes for some people. And sometimes it would just, when you're going back through them, it's like, oh, they were trying to do this. It's kind of a way to just
Trigger your
not
memory.
so electronically kind of
Yeah.
remember some people.
Yeah. I have my notebook. Oh well, with my background you can't see it, but okay,
Yeah.
never mind. I have my notebook and I always am writing notes on it. I have everything electronic, but my brain works better when I write things out.
Yes.
So I just always have a notebook.
No, that makes sense to me.
So, well, okay, so my plan is that we could meet tomorrow.
Okay.
I don't know if you like, I don't know what your plans are for tomorrow. I'm going to be leaving town here in a few minutes and going across the state. So, if you wanted to do like tomorrow afternoon or evening ish, or
Works.
we could do something on Sunday if you wanted, since it's just you and me.
Yeah, I'm surprised more people didn't take advantage of it.
I am too. But at the same time, I feel like I did not do the things I would normally do to promote it. And so I'm kind of, honestly, it kind of is, it's okay for me. Like, I feel at peace because it, as my husband just said, he's like, I gave you kind of the one-on-one, and
Good.
like that makes me feel good because I feel like, we accomplished something.
We accomplished a lot. You have gotten me out of my stuck zone. So that's a huge accomplishment right there.
I love that. I love that
Yeah.
so much. Well, let's kind of play it by ear if that's okay.
Yeah,
Because
that's
I
fine.
will be coming back home tomorrow, and so I just kind of don't know my time frame yet, if
Yeah,
that's
that's totally fine.
okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So once I'm thinking that it'll probably be best because everyone's traveling in my car. So it'll probably be best if I just message you like when we're getting home, that sort of thing, or else we can plan for Sunday. I will definitely be home by then. So
Yeah, just let me know whatever works out best for you, honestly.
Okay. Okay.
And I'm
All
fine
right.
with it. If, you may get home and you may go, I just am so glad to be home and I need a break. And that's totally fine with me too.
Okay. And that's kind of what I guess that's the only reason why I'm saying maybe Sunday, just because I'm a
Yeah,
little like,
whatever
we'll see what happens.
you feel like, and just send me a message. That works.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Okay. That sounds
All
good.
right.
Well,
Sounds
you get, some work done, and I want to see, some ideas. So let's, you know, I want to see some posts and some more stuff, because I want to see you, taking this to the next step, and like, starting to post or starting to put things out there and inviting people back into your world.
I need to spend some time in Canva, I think.
Yes,
Maybe.
I think that'll be a fun way to spend some time.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Sounds good. Enjoy your time.
Thank you so
The
much.
concert. Yes.
Thank you. I'm excited.
Good.
All right. Have a wonderful evening and a good weekend, and I'll talk with you really soon.
Sounds good. Thanks. Take
All
care.
right. Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye-bye.